In this next video, we'll go over how to add dimensions and text to this project. We will also go over the room function. This is used for calculating material on a room-by-room basis. Let's switch over to the first level wall layout. Let's go to Drawing Model Pairs and select First Level Wall Layout. If you have reference drawings on your screen, as I do, let's go ahead and turn those off. So we'll go to Reference Drawings, go to Properties, and let's turn off the basement and second level wall layouts. Select OK. That should just leave us with the first level walls and components visible on screen. The Dimensions and Text tools can be found under the Drafting tab at the top. Select Drafting. We have several standard CAD tools available in Vertex BD, such as lines, the offset and mirror functions. We can also fillet or round corners, tools for dimensioning, as well as constraints, hatch, and text tools. Let's go over the dimensioning tools. So under Dimensions, select Fast Dimensioning. Fast Dimensioning can be used to add a single dimension. You can dimension horizontal or vertical or at an angle, arcs and circles. We have chain dimensioning, baseline dimensioning. We also have the standard diameter, radius, length, and angle dimensioning tools. And we also have automatic dimensioning. Let's start by dimensioning some interior walls with the Fast Dimensioning tool. Select Fast Dimensioning. Then it prompts us to select an element to dimension. Zoom in on the bathroom to include the laundry closet and hallway. I'll start with this corner and select the center line. As you can see, it's locked in vertically, but if you right-click, you have some additional tools. Right now I have it locked in the vertical direction or the Y direction. There's also a button for the X direction, and then also to move in either direction or angle with the automatic dimension. We have several other editing tools. You also have a precision tool. So if you inch dimensioning setting, you can select the precision of your dimensioning. You can set it to feet in inches or inches and how you want the fraction displayed. Cancel. I'm going to right click and set that to the X direction. Bring that down. The Fast Dimensioning adds only one dimension at a time. You go in, select this dimension, click on the exterior wall line, and you can move your dimension wherever you need to. You can see I'm moving it from right to left. I'll just drop it right there. So that's how the Fast Dimensioning works. And hit Escape. Go back to the Dimensioning menu. We have Chain Dimension. So if we select Chain Dimension, I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to dimension the top exterior wall. So I'll start at this corner. I'll select the center of the window, bring that up to about right there. And then from this point, you can just select the next object to dimension, and you can see it runs along in a chain. And I'll do an out-to-out dimension. Select that corner, that corner. Now, if you need to move your dimension line, select that dimension line, left-click on the grip point to move the dimension. Vertex will prompt you if you want to move the other adjacent dimensions along with it. In this case, we'll just hit yes, and you can see that the other dimensions also move down in line with that dimension. You can also baseline dimension. So if you go to Fast Dimensioning, select Baseline. Let's dimension this left side. So we'll start with this corner, and we'll select the center of the wall. Bring that over, lock that in the Y direction so it's vertical. Let's start right there. We go and dimension the next set of walls. You can see that it adds dimensions in a baseline format. We can also automatically dimension a wall. So if we go into the Drafting tab, Fast Dimensioning, and select Dimension of Floor Plan, that brings up our automatic dimensioning settings. We can dimension the total, exterior walls, interior walls, windows and doors, and columns. You can also select how you want them or where you want them dimensioned, the center, exterior, sheathing. You can also automatically center the window and door dimensions. You can also save your settings and delete your settings. In this case, I turned off the exterior walls and columns, and I changed my interior walls to center and left my others to exterior. My windows and doors are automatically set to center window and door dimensions. And you can also set which layer you would like to see the dimensions on. I'll leave it at the default. And we'll select OK. The status line is guiding us to select an element. We will draw a crossing window around the front wall. Left-click to the right of the front wall, keep your finger on the left mouse button, drag the cursor to the lower left side of the front wall, and release the button to select the wall. Select V to confirm. Next, it's prompting us to select the end of the wall. So approximately the end of this wall. It doesn't have to be right exactly at the end, but close to it. We'll click. V to confirm. And now we'll locate where we want our dimensions to start. I'll just pick that point, and it automatically dimensioned that wall. Let's repeat the process and dimension the right exterior wall. Fast dimensioning, dimension a floor plan. We'll just hit OK. It remembers our last settings. Crossing around that wall. V to confirm. Select near the end of the wall. Select this bottom end. V to confirm. Bring over the cursor to locate the first dimension line. You can also edit a dimension. If you double-click on the dimension line, it brings up the properties for that specific dimension line that was selected. You can edit your text. You can change the precision. Under the Properties tab, you can change the layer, the font, the height, line width, and some additional settings. And under Dimensions, you can adjust the dimension end markers. So you can change it from a slash to an arrow or to a circle. You can do that on both the start and end, as well as the extension line. You can change if you want that short, right on the point that was selected, close to the dimension point. Again, for both the start and end points. Hit cancel. Now that only affects that specific dimension that was selected. If you want to adjust the setting for all the dimensions, go under Dimensioning, down to Settings, and you'll see that same menu. You want to make this adjustment prior to adding dimensions, since this will affect all dimensions that you add to the drawing. Let's hit cancel. You can delete each dimension individually by selecting the dimension and hitting the delete key. Or if you want to delete all your dimensions, select the dimension line. To filter all the dimensions, select Ctrl-A. That'll highlight all the dimensions and hit delete. Go ahead and pause the video and dimension the first and second floor levels, and then resume the video. Use any of the various dimensioning tools to add the dimensions to your floor plans. Let's go over some of the tools for adding text in BD. Under the Drafting menu, select the T for text. That opens up the text dialog. In this left section, you can type in your text. Over on the right, shows a list of previously entered text. So anytime you enter text, it will record it and save it under the previous text list. Select the previous dropdown and you see a list of standard text available to select from. Let's switch over to floor plan. Now double click on the kitchen text. You can see the text is added to the cursor, and we can place the text wherever we want on the floor plan. And you continue to add additional text. Let's go ahead and type something in on the left side. Let's just type in main floor level and select OK. Let's bring that down out here and hit cancel. You can double click on the text to edit the text. So if we want to change that from level to, let's say, plan, and select OK. To edit additional properties of the text, select, and up at the top toolbar you can see properties appear. You can change the layer that it's on, the font, the size of the text, the pen width, the angle, and also the color. Let's make it a little larger, so we'll change that to -12. And if you want to move the text, just click on the little grip point, and you can make an adjustment to the location. Now if we double click on the text to go back to the text dialog, if you look under previous, you can see that both the main floor plan and the main floor level text that we recently added to the floor plan has been stored under the previous list. Let's hit cancel and look at some additional features. You can also add text with a box around it or a frame text. Double click. Let's just select the main floor plan. You can see that it has a frame or box around it. You can also add text with different leader line types. This one is a leader line with an underline. This is a leader line with no underline. And then you have another leader line with a circle or a point. And you have another leader line with a circle or point, but without the underline. Let's add a couple of these. So let's start with reference text 1. Let's just type in siding and hit OK. The first selection point is the start of the leader line. Let's select the siding, click, and as you drag your text, you can see that the leader line is extending. We'll just add it right there. Let's add one more. Let's add the point without the underline. Again, we'll just add siding. We'll pick that point, drag that down, and you see that that leader line does not have the underline under the text. Hit cancel. You can also create tables. Let's click Table. In the Insert Table dialog, select Custom Table. You can add a title. Let's just say we want to call this Doorknob Schedule. And we want a default of, let's just say, 4. Let's start with 5 rows, 4 columns. Let's just say a table width of 30. And we'll have all the text inside the cells aligned to the left. You can also edit the properties of the text that are in the cells. You can edit the layer that it's on, the font, the height, and any of these other additional properties. Click Cancel, and we'll select OK. And we can drop that schedule anywhere in the drawing, so we'll just put it right there. And now we're in the editing mode for the table. You can see over in the lower left corner it says Edit Table, and you can see that the rest of the drawing is just slightly visible, leaving us to focus on the table. Now as you move the cursor over the table, you can edit each of the cells, or if you go to the edge of the table, your cursor will change to double arrows, indicating you can stretch the table. We'll left click, keep your finger on the mouse button, and drag that over. As you can see, there's our title. We can do the same thing for the column. We'll stretch that one, bring that one over. Actually, we'll bring that one over all the way out here. We'll move this one over. And we'll just slightly move that one, make it a little wider. We can add information inside each one of these cells. Double click in a cell, and we could add text in the cell. Let's say this is a header text for the column. I'll add NO for number. And this one will be our description. This can be, let's say, a model. We'll get that a little wider. And this can be, let's say, quantity. And then you can manually fill out the rest of the information. If you need to add additional rows or columns, single click on the cell, right click, and now you can add additional cells. Insert a cell to the left, to the right, above or below, or insert copy of a row. Let's just insert row below, and we just added another row. Once you're done editing the table, you can hit escape. If you need to move your table, just select the table, left click on the grip point, and move it wherever you need to. Before we go with the Rooms tool in BD, I'm going to remove the text and table that we recently added, just to avoid any confusion with the room labels that we'll be adding. I'll select that text. I'm keeping my finger on the Control key and removing that kitchen note as well, and hit delete. I'll do Shift A to zoom extents and hit save. Next, we will cover the room function. Though the room function is not a necessary step for building your model in BD, it can be used to add room labels to a floor plan and add additional information to the materials report, such as the area for wall, floor, and ceilings, as well as perimeter information for each defined room. This information can be used to estimate additional materials like paint and trim. Earlier in our project, we modeled the ceiling material and floor coverings. These materials will be added to a material report. The room function can be used in place of modeling these materials. The room area and perimeter information generated by the room function can be used to calculate these materials and reduce modeling time. This can be helpful if the main purpose of drawing the model is to generate material reports and you do not plan to use the model for renderings or presentations. Let's start by clearing out some of this information that's on the screen. We need to hide some of these layers. We can do this automatically by using the layer groups. These are predefined layer settings that have some of these layers turned off or on depending on which layer group that's selected. You can find the layer groups on the toolbar. My toolbar is on the left-hand side. Yours may be floating on the top. You can find the layer groups from Select Layers from the list. Over on the left-hand side, you'll see a panel open up. Down at the lower section, there's a layer groups. Scroll down until you find one called Rooms. This will have the predefined layers turned on and off for the Rooms layers group. I'll hit Cancel. You can also find it again on the toolbar. Scroll down to Favorite Layer Groups. If you click on that, you should see an option for Rooms. Click on Rooms. Now you can see that the layer group only has minimal layers turned on. It turns off some of the other layers such as cabinets and dimensions. The Rooms function is found under the Modeling tab. Near the Floor and Roof section, over to the right, you'll see Rooms. Click on Rooms. Down at the lower left corner status line, it's prompting us to select a wall from inside a room. The first thing we need to do is set our selection mode. So we'll right-click to bring up the toolbar, and we have options for select walls one by one, find by selecting wall, select lines, and we have an option for finding rooms automatically. We'll set it to find by selecting walls and select OK. In order for the room function to work, you need to have clearly defined rooms. Those are rooms that are defined by walls all the way around the perimeter. For example, we have the bathroom here that has walls all the way around. The laundry room has walls completely around it. And we have a couple of closets with walls all the way around the perimeter. Let's start with this small bathroom closet. So we want to select the wall from inside the room. We don't want to move our mouse coming from the outside of that room. We want to be on the inside and select one of the walls moving up towards it. You can see that it labels a room, puts the square footage and the size. Then we also have a room data window that appears. We can label the room. We can also assign a color. We can hide the room label, not include it in our floor area, or not include it in the bill of materials, and also enable automatic room volume. We'll just focus on the top two settings up here, the name and the color. Let's assign this bathroom 1 closet, bath closet number 1. This closet is part of the bathroom. And we'll leave the color as a default. Select OK. Let's go ahead and select the other closet. We'll move the cursor to the inside of the room and select one of the walls from the inside. We'll change this label to, let's just call this closet number 1. And let's select a color. We'll just assign it a yellow color. Select OK and OK. Let's go ahead and move into the laundry room. Let's see if there's an option. Yes, there's a laundry title. And I'll just leave a default color. And now we'll label the bathroom. We'll call that bath 1. I'm going to zoom out. The other rooms are not clearly defined. We have a hallway, a kitchen, a family room, a living room, and a dining area. The rooms merge from one to another. In order to clearly define each room, we need to add a special wall called a space divider. It's added the same way as any normal wall, and it's also located in the same library as the walls. Go over to the Modeling tab, select Wall. Scroll down, you should see Other Walls Library, select Other, and Space Divider. A space divider is a 2D wall used for defining spaces. Select Base Divider, hit OK. Now we're going to separate the hall from the kitchen. We'll start with this corner, lock it in a vertical. I will zoom in to confirm the space divider is offset or aligned flush with the wall above. And it is aligned correctly. If you need to adjust the placement of the space divider, just right mouse click and select a new placement. I'll just leave it as is. There is a slight width to the space divider, so you do want to confirm the placement is correct. So I'm going to come down and run it perpendicular to that wall. We'll add another divider to separate the kitchen from the family room. And we'll come off this corner. Select I key to lock it into vertical constraint. The offset is correct. The right side of the space divider is in line with the right side of the wall above. Run that perpendicular to that point. And we'll add one more to define the dining from the living area. Just click this corner of the wall, lock it into vertical, and bring that down to that point. And escape. Now that we've added the divider walls, we also need to make sure that they're connected to the adjacent walls. To do that, just highlight the wall, zoom in. Just like our standard walls, we can right-click and create a T connection to the adjacent wall. Create T connection and select the horizontal wall. Do the same thing on this side. Create T connection. Select that wall. And we'll do it for each of the divider walls. Right click, create T connection, and we'll come down to this point. And this just establishes a solid connection. It helps to define the rooms. Now we'll select this one, right click, create T connection with this wall, and one more on this end. Now that we've added our space dividers and created the connection to the adjacent walls, we can go back and select the room function, go to modeling, room, and let's start with the hallway. Just move our cursor inside and select the edge of a wall. And we'll scroll down and select hall number 1. Hit OK. Do the same for the kitchen. We will call that one kitchen. There it is. Over to the right, select that wall. And that one is the living room. Actually, that one is the family room. We'll scroll down to this side, select that wall, and that is the dining room. Select OK. You can see by adding the space divider, we were able to clearly define each room. Now for the living room area, we're going to go through and select each wall one by one. So we'll go back to rooms. We'll change the selection mode, so we'll right click, and we'll change it to select walls one by one. I'll demonstrate how select walls one by one works. So click select walls. Now we'll just go around each wall, select that top wall, the right exterior wall, the bottom exterior wall, and then the divider. And V to confirm. Scroll down, and we'll select living room. Hit OK. So those are two selection modes that you'll find useful when selecting your rooms. Let's go ahead and hit Shift-A to zoom extents and select Save. To bring back the other layers, we'll just go over to the toolbar, down to this little blue arrow, Restore Default Layers. And now you'll notice that the color fills for each room have been turned off, but the labels are still visible. You can see there's our family room label, indicating the square footage, the amount of glass, and the room size. Now that we have all the rooms added for the main floor level, let's go ahead and switch to the second floor level. Go up to Drawing Model Pairs. Select second level wall layout. And we'll do the same thing with the group layers. We'll come over to the right, select our favorite layer group, and select rooms. Zoom in. Now most of the rooms on the upper level are clearly defined, but we want to omit the stairwell from the hallway upstairs. So let's go ahead and add another divider. We'll just run it from this corner across. Go up to Wall. In the Wall library, we'll go down to Other, select Space Divider, and select OK. Zoom in, click on that corner, lock the horizontal constraint by hitting the U key. I'm going to zoom in and make sure that it's offset correctly, and it is. So we'll run it perpendicular to that point, and now we'll hit Escape, and we'll create our T intersections. Right click on that corner, create T connection, select that wall, and over on the right side, do the same thing, right click over the dot, create T connection, and select that wall. Now we'll zoom out, and let's go back to assigning our room labels. Go to Room. Right-click, and we'll go back to Find by selecting Wall. Let's start with this room, the master. So click, and we'll switch that label to, there we go, Master Bedroom. Leave the color as is. Let's go ahead with the Master Walk-in Closet. Scroll down to, we'll just call it Master Bedroom Closet. In the master bath. And the closet. Master bath closet. Perfect. Select OK. Let's go ahead and select this bathroom. Since we have a bathroom downstairs, which is number 1, this one will be bathroom number 2. Select the closet for that bathroom. So that one is bath closet number 2. Let's work our way to this bedroom. Since that's the smallest bedroom, we're going to select bedroom number 3 as that label. We'll come down to the next bedroom. We'll just make that one bedroom number 2. And we'll come over to this other bedroom, and that one will be bedroom number 1. Let's go ahead and select the closets. We'll select the closet for bedroom number 1. So let's see, bedroom 1 closet. Bedroom number 2 closet. And the closet for bedroom number 3. Next we have a hallway. So we'll select a wall around the hallway. We'll select that top wall. Scroll down. And we'll call that one hall number 2 since hall number 1 is downstairs. And we'll select the closet for the hallway. So that'll be, we'll call that one just closet number 2. Now that we clearly defined each room, we can hit escape. Let's turn on our default layers. We'll go over to the toolbar to the blue arrow, which is Restore Default Layers. And again, all our color coding or color fills are turned off, but our labels remain. Hit Shift A to zoom out and hit Save. In the next video, we'll create drawing sets and generate material reports.